Hello and welcome. Carrie here from Healing Humanity, the Power of a Proper Human Diet with Adam, Ashley, Barb, and the amazing Dr. Nelson. And we thank you all for joining us today. Today is our Thursday night Carnivore Q&A. We are here to answer your questions. We're going to do some giveaways. And before we jump into that, I just want to say real quick, post your best question as you're all jumping on here right now with hashtag ribeye. And we're going to be giving away a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue. You can either post your best question for Barb, Adam, Ashley, Dr. Nelson, or myself, or post your testimony of healing with hashtag ribeye. And we're going to be doing that drawing shortly. Adam, how's it going?
Fantastic, Carrie. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Ashley, Barb, Dr. Nelson, how you guys doing?
We're thawing out finally here in the DFW area. I can't say the same for you, I'm sure, but it's nice to get a break.
Yeah. Barb, how's it going?
Things are awesome in Tennessee. The storm missed us, so we had a little bit of ice, but nothing really to see.
Nice. Dr. Nelson, it's so great to have you back.
Doing great. And, the storm missed us also. No snow in Central Florida.
I don't know how you manage down there in Central Florida.
It is 52 right now. So
my goodness. 52 is like swimming weather for me.
So
Shorts
you need a hat on or something. It's got to be cold for you.
Yeah. There we go. That's the Dr. Nelson we know. All right. So we're going to be taking your questions in just a minute. I know people are still jumping on right now, so post your best question with hashtag ribeye. Ashley, what do we got coming up? Some exciting things in the works?
One big one, only a couple of weeks away. Super excited. Advertising right behind me here. It's South Carolina. We're excited about this one. Charleston. We've got a great group that's coming, and I'm super excited to have some of the guest speakers that we have. I know we filmed Mimi for the documentary, so that's huge, and that's going to be super exciting. I haven't met her before, so I'm super excited about meeting her. But some of my other favorites, like Miss Emma Mann, will be there. Every meetup we go to, we get requests for Emma. Where's Emma? Where's Emma? And so we need everybody in the comments right now. If you want Jen Mann to be there as well and participate, please make sure you comment right now that you want to see Jen as well. Lynn and Jim Tucker are also going to be there. They're two of our favorite carnivores. So excited for them to come share their story with us as well. It's going to be great. So if you haven't got tickets, please go to the healinghumanity.movie/events and make sure you sign up for your tickets and get those as soon as possible so we can get a good idea on how many we can expect to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jen's going to be real happy with you, Ashley, on that one.
Yeah, she is.
Jen's nervous to get up and speak, but we're hoping she'll get up and speak also. But I said, you're making your daughter Emma go up there. Come on, let's go. You can get up and share your story. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. There is a link in the description if you want to get a ticket for that. Don't wait. They're going fast. All right. Should we jump into some questions?
Sure. Before we do, real quick, Dr. Kiltz has a meetup in Tampa and Sarasota next week as well. I'll go ahead and post a link in the chat for that. So I think, is that still open for tickets?
KiltzMeetup.com. It is open for tickets. I don't know if the VIP is open for tickets, but if you can buy the VIP, then do it. It's $250 for the VIP ticket, which includes dinner with Dr. Kiltz at his house in Sarasota. And there's a lot of people that are going to be there, including a special guest visit from an Orlando doctor who's very pro keto. And he's not going to be able to speak on Saturday, but he's going to be in the house. His name is Dr. Pradeep Jamnadas. Many of you probably know the name.
Excellent.
So he's going to be on Friday, and it's going to be either ribeyes or New York strips and maybe some picanha.
Nice.
Awesome. And then on Saturday, we have several speakers. You can go to killsmeetup.com and see the list of speakers. Rodney Dangerfield will be performing, and and then we have a meal after in a Brazilian steakhouse.
Awesome. Kiltsmeetup.com. Check it out. All right. Our first question is for Dr. Nelson. Any recommendations for people who no longer have a gallbladder? I'm having a really hard time with digestion of all the fats. I started carnivore on January 11th.
This weekend I was at Low Carb USA, and one of the doctors that you all got I know, he was asked the same question, and he said, it's all BS. You can do it. You can eat carnivore whether you have a gallbladder or not. I'm not going to tell you who it was who said that, but the reason is the gallbladder doesn't produce bile. The gallbladder is a reservoir for bile produced by your liver. So if they take your gallbladder away, you continue to produce bile. Now, is there an adjustment and transition? Possibly. So if you are going to start a very low carbohydrate diet or the carnivore diet, you may to go, ramp it up slowly. High fat is best, but maybe you need to adjust and slightly go up. But you don't lose your bile by losing your gallbladder. What you just lose is a little reservoir that has some of that bile ready to be secreted, and your liver adjusts.
I can attest to that. I don't have a gallbladder, and I'm a professional carnivore. All right. Here's a question for me. Is there any word about Bill from Alaska? People are asking about Bill's foot. Bill injured his foot, and he was reluctant to go into the hospital for too long. He finally went in yesterday. He had a bunch of tests done, and now he has to go on and have another test done. So he's doing okay. We have a new member. Wendy, welcome. Thank you.
All right.
All right. We have a question. Here's a question for Adam from Sheila. Still have terrible depression, anxiety too. How long did it take to see changes? I'm 64, so you don't bounce back like you did when you were younger. Actually, I think there's two parts to this. Let me see. I finally decided after your testimony to try carnivore, still working on lowering my carbs and letting go of vegetables. I did keto last year and lost 35 pounds, but still have chronic fatigue terribly. What do you think, Adam?
Well, there's a lot to this, and I just want to let everybody know. Obviously, we're here just to give information. We're not giving medical advice or anything like that. So, with that being said, there's a lot to human health. It's not just diet. So there's a lot of other factors that go into, especially mental health conditions like depression and anxiety. While diet can help a tremendous amount, there's other things in your life that's going to play a part of that as well. Primarily one thing that affects a lot of people is stress and stress management. So learning proper techniques to handle that, trying to get as good a sleep as you possibly can as well, avoiding the blue light if you can. There's just many, many different aspects to that. We obviously would have to dig into your diet specifically more in like a coaching situation, or at least a little bit more in-depth talk to try to figure out exactly what's going on with you, and if there are foods that might be potential triggers for your depression, anxiety, and other challenges that you're having. So I would encourage you to stick with it, still keep seeking answers, and potentially consider joining a community where you can potentially go in deeper with some more of these types of answers, and you can, kick back and forth ideas and have a little bit of a conversation and potentially bring it to a coaching level to figure out exactly what's going on with you.
All right. Good stuff. All right.
Kerry,
Yep.
Can you give a yes or no answer? Was your depression and anxiety helped by going carnivore?
Yes. It was the only thing that ever helped in my particular case. Absolutely. And one of the things I learned is the ratio of fat to protein matters when you're trying to heal mental health. That's the advice I got from Dr. Georgie Eid. So for some of us, we're doing carnivore, but Dr. Eid mentioned you have two dials. You have the protein dial and you have the fat dial. And for some of us on carnivore, you might have to lower the protein a little bit and up the fat a little bit for really healing when we're talking about mental health. So maybe something to consider. Check out Dr. Georgie Eid's book too. It's incredible. All right. Ashley, what about this question here from Roxanne? What do you think about grass-fed beef protein powder? Better than coffee?
Better than coffee? Well, I have to say I have zero experience with grass-fed beef protein powder, so I don't know the answer to that. I would assume, yes, better than coffee. I'm not sure what you're doing to make it into coffee. Is that, does anybody else know? Is that like a substitute coffee drink? I'm curious myself. I don't know.
Anyone else? Grass-fed beef protein powder?
Probably better than coffee, but some people may put the powder in coffee. There is no substitute for eating a fresh piece of meat and cooking it the way you want it. That is going to be the most nutritionally dense food. The powders, you have to understand they're not ultra processed like many of the ultra processed foods. They usually have one ingredient, but they are processed. You're destroying. So, take that into consideration. Is it better than coffee? The answer is yes.
Yes, I would agree. I don't know what it is, but it has to be, there's a lot of concerns, I think, over not knowing where the coffee came from and where, what's in the coffee and the pesticides and stuff like that on the coffee beans. So, it definitely has to be better than coffee, but I'm curious if you want to comment again. I'm curious if you're using that as like a hot water substitute for your coffee in the mornings and that's a way of getting off coffee or something like that. I'm curious.
Yeah, she just commented she feels like it's a good step away from coffee for her.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bone broth's another good one. Yeah. All right. Robert Dickens. Here's a question for Barb. Barb, does carnivore help with high blood pressure? Mine is still running high.
Yes, and a lot of people, their blood pressure goes down significantly after they've been on the carnivore diet for a little while. The mechanism of that, I'm going to defer to Dr. Nelson, so since he is so nice to be here. But yeah, I definitely think so. Dr. Nelson.
So 2 comments. I was taking 300 milligrams of metoprolol, a medication that normally doctors don't go past 200, even though you could go up to 400, and lisinopril 40 milligrams. Within 7 months of going carnivore, I slowly tapered everything down until one day I passed out because my blood pressure was so low. And when I passed out, happened to happen the morning of my birthday. So the last dose I took of medication was the day before, and it was the lowest possible of one of those 2. All that to say, yes, it usually gets better. What's the mechanism? Hyperinsulinemia there are 2 things. You're eating too many carbohydrates. That's inducing hyperinsulinemia, and both keep fluid in you. Okay, don't allow the kidney to release anything. You go into a low carbohydrate or a carnivore diet, and all of a sudden, your kidneys are letting this particularly the sodium go, and water never moves in anywhere in your body. Water never moves by itself. Always sodium. There might be potassium, magnesium, and other electrolytes that go with that. And all of a sudden now you have a diuresis, which is why when you go into this diet, the first thing that happens is you lose a lot of water weight. It's still weight, but you need to replace now all the sodium that you're losing. And but blood pressure does go down. Is it possible? Does it go down in 100% of the people? No, especially when you've had hypertension for a long time. There's other damage that you have created, hardening of the arteries, and might be more difficult. But almost universally, your doses can go down, and many people go off completely.
Yeah, that was the case for me too. And Dr. Nelson, I don't remember the dosages, but I was on those same two medications you mentioned, as well as I think Flecainide was the third one I was on.
No,
But my blood pressure today is
arrhythmias.
perfect. Yeah. All right. Question for me from Uncle Charlie. Carrie, can you eat Mr. Jones breakfast sausage and breakfast chicken rolls in a bag from Costco? I don't know the answer to that. I would have to look. I'd have to look at the ingredients on those, Uncle Charlie. I'm not sure. It's unfortunate. I haven't had those two.
Can you eat them?
Yeah.
I guess you could. You have to make a decision whether you want to eat them or not.
Right? Should you?
Check the ingredients, right?
Yeah. Be a detective. Really check those ingredients closely.
Hey, I don't know
Sausage
if
can be
you've
tricky.
got a particular order on there, but Uncle Charlie had a testimony earlier too that is just phenomenal. I don't know if we've started that yet or not, but you may want to look out for that here in a few minutes. But
here we go. Uncle Charlie down 150 pounds. No more fatty heart, no more fatty liver, no more fatty kidney, and now my pancreas works. A1C was 18. A1C was 18, now 5, was 325 pounds, now 180.
I mean, that's incredible.
Uncle Charlie, man.
Have you ever seen 18 before, Dr. Nelson? That's unbelievable.
I have never seen 18, but that's because the machines that they've had at the places I've worked, the maximum they measure at the time was 16 and a half. So multiple times I've seen the maximum, which could have been 18 or even 20. Yeah,
that's amazing. Wow. Good for you, Uncle Charlie. Wow.
Good job.
That's
Uncle
incredible.
Charlie's showing off with those numbers. That's incredible.
Right? Why
we got another
don't
testimony.
More diabetics know that is possible? I mean, 18 down to 5. Unbelievable.
Amazing. Tanya, down 55 pounds. Sleep is amazing. Anxiety is gone, and so much more energy. Hashtag ribeye.
I love it.
Awesome. We love hearing those. Good job. All right. Our next question is from Carnivore Bills. How do you stop the bad number 2 when starting the carnivore and hydration? Adam, what do you think? Never trust a week 2 carnivore fart.
Most definitely, and that could be prolonged all the way to week 4 as well. So that's what it did with me. So
it can be prolonged by 2 months.
Yes. So the biggest advice or information I could give you on this is the transition, maybe a little bit more slowly. I feel like that's probably what it was with me as well. I jumped in both feet, and my body had a hard time adjusting to all of the fat that was coming in, all of the water that was getting flushed. I wasn't replenishing the electrolytes as well. So maybe slow it down and transition a little bit more slowly. But if you're not going to do that, most definitely make sure you get your electrolytes in. That's definitely going to help, at least with some headache symptoms and keto flu type symptoms. But just know that if this stays in you're prolonged this way using the restroom, then you're going to have to make a change or go to your doctor to try to figure out what's going on.
The other thing that happens is you are modifying your gut microbiome. So, that change, that transition may take some time. It's not a bad thing, though, because you're basically killing off all the bacteria that depends on that sugar.
All right. Our next question is, let's see, from Trudy. Hi, everyone. I met you in San Diego.
Yes.
Question, Carrie. I've been carnivore for 2 years. I recently made some fire cider and elderberry syrup to take during winter. What are your thoughts about this? I'll quote my genius daughter, Emma. I'll do me and you do you. Whatever's working for you is great. If that's working out well, that is awesome. For me in particular, I think if I had that, knowing myself, I would have problems. Any sort of syrup or anything like that, just because of the addictive nature of myself. So personally, I would avoid that. But if you're able to tolerate that and you're doing well, that's great. I'm always just very careful when I talk about things like this, Trudy, just because there's a ton of people that watch my YouTube channel that are brand new and they're just starting carnivore. And sometimes they'll see stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, syrup, great. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to do carnivore, but I'm going to have syrup. Or I'm going to do carnivore, I'm going to have fruit like that Paul Saladino guy does. And if they're addicted and they need healing, I would advise against that. I always tell people, like, just try doing a strict carnivore diet until you found healing. Then if you want to test other things out, like you're doing, or like Paul Saladino's doing, or other people, it's your body. Do whatever you want. But I would encourage people to at least get to the healing stage before you start experimenting with other things. That would be my thoughts. But it's working out well for you. Good job. Keep doing whatever's working. All right. Here's a question. What about heart palpitations while doing carnivore? Dr. Nelson, any experience with heart palpitations? I've been experiencing them the last 4 days on and off.
It can happen, and very likely has to do with the shift in electrolytes. So make sure you're replenishing them. That will be the first thing, and then hydrate yourself, because first few weeks you're definitely letting go of a lot of fluid, and it can put you behind in your hydration, and maybe you need to drink more fluids. Not everybody needs to drink a tons of fluid, but because of the things that happens when we're talking about hypertension, your blood pressure now is lower, and you may have palpitations. You may have dizziness when you stand up, and it's not that you have something terrible. Maybe you need more fluids. So fluids and electrolytes will be very important. And if they continue, I am a doctor, but I'm not your doctor. So go and see your healthcare provider and make sure nothing is going on.
All right. And we've got Amanda. I think I know who Amanda is. Hello from Merrill, Wisconsin. March 31st will be 1 full year, 365 days, strict carnivore, beef, butter, salt, water, and black coffee, healing my rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, depression, and anxiety.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
That is amazing.
Great.
Congratulations.
Has Amanda been on one of the Montello meetups?
I don't know that Amanda's come to the Montello meetup, but you're more than welcome to when we have a future one. I think our shared friend is Tammy. I might be mistaken, but Tammy mentioned an Amanda. So good job on all that healing. That's incredible.
You just
They're
said,
listening in, so when we
Amanda.
can do a Montello meetup, you shall have to definitely come and see everybody in person. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do another Montello meetup. Get Tammy and Amanda out there.
Yeah.
All right. We got Richard. Praise the Almighty. 7 months. Headaches gone. 5 days ago. Blood pressure excellent for 5 days. Healing has begun. Thank you all. Bless you all. Just eating beef, bacon, butter, and eggs.
All right.
Nice. Good job, Richard. Oh, we got a super chat. Timeless Jewel by Deborah. Thank you so much, Deborah. Feeling great on carnivore. Can't wait for the documentary. Thank you so much for that super chat. Every penny from super chats goes to our Healing Humanity project, our documentary, our future series, all of that. Hey, Adam, when's the documentary going to be done?
Actually, tomorrow for the next phase of editing. So we hope to be able to have something a little bit more solid in the month of February, but we are going to look at distribution channels immediately following the month of February. So it's very, very soon, folks. Very soon.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Adam and I are previewing a fine cut tomorrow. So we're this close. We appreciate the patience. It'll be worth the wait. It's a huge undertaking. Very, very soon. All right, we've got a question from Big Pile of Wesley. Did I say that right? I think I did. Everyone is warning me about cholesterol on a carnivore diet. Dr. Nelson, how warranted are these cholesterol claims?
There is certainly still a lot of people, even within carnivore and keto, that believe cholesterol may be as an associated risk of heart attacks and strokes. Okay. What we need to look at is multiple other things that really are more damaging and more associated with strokes and heart attacks, like diabetes, metabolic syndrome, hypertension, fatty liver disease. These things are, anywhere from 4 to 10 times as likely to cause you problems because of your metabolic dysfunction. The statistical significance of cholesterol is very little when you compare to other things. Is it damaging? Maybe you should take a deep dive a little bit more into your particles, do lipoprotein fractionation, take a look at if your LDL particles are small and dense and not large and fluffy. And I'll stop there, but for example, this previous person that has lost so much weight, A1C was 18, his chance of having a stroke or heart attack were about 1,100%. Cholesterol may increase your chances by 38%. So which one was more important for him? Is now his doctor going to say, oh, but you're going to have a heart attack. Well, he was going to have a heart attack for sure if he continued with an A1C of 18. So risk, you have to take everything into consideration. It is not as important as most doctors think. There are some people, read Dr. Malcolm Kendrick books, a couple of them, The Cholesterol Con and The Clot Thickens. He is a self-professed cholesterol skeptic. There is an international society of those. It's not as important as they make it to be, and some people believe it's not important at all.
I love that answer, and I remember the chart you shared before, which you were mentioning. It's crazy to me that there are literally things 10 times more likely to lead to heart disease, like insulin resistance, inflammation, poor metabolic health. But it's interesting to me, like, why do we never ask about that? No one, we're all oblivious to that. When I think about myself now, it's like prior to carnivore, I had all of those things. I was much more likely to have heart disease from insulin resistance and inflammation, but I never worried about it. I was asking the same questions that Big Pile of Wesley is asking about cholesterol. But yeah, do some more research. I'd urge you to. There's a lot of good information out there.
Whenever you want, if you want to bring that up.
Here we go.
That's an article that specifically states LDL-C does not cause cardiovascular disease. That's one of many. So doctors get their information from studies. They're not perfect. None of them are, but there is enough noise that saturated fats, cholesterol doesn't really affect, at least from the diet. It doesn't really make much of a difference. There is some evidence, against, and some evidence in favor. So do your own research, but I don't think it's as important.
Right. If I could go back in time, I would go down the list in order. Fix my metabolic health, insulin resistance, inflammation, and then cholesterol is like way down here. Get to that at that point. But the other thing that I did in the meantime, and Dr. Nelson mentioned this, you could do additional testing. I got a CAC scan done for $50, and that gave me a lot of good peace of mind as well. So there's a lot of other testing out there you can do as well. Instead of saying, well, what if this happens and then this happens and then this happens? Maybe I'll have a heart attack. Let's just look at the arteries and see if there's calcification in there. And maybe that can help you make some better decisions as well.
What was your CAC score, Kerry?
0, a big fat 0. All right. Oh, hey, we got to give away a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue. Do we have a drum roll tonight?
We do.
All right. Drum roll, please. Here we go. And we're going to be doing another giveaway in just a minute. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue is Gretchen Hayes 3893. Congratulations. You've won a Healing Humanity shirt. How can Gretchen claim their prize, Adam?
Well, Carrie, Gretchen can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Ashley will promptly send you your shirt. Congratulations. I'll put the link in the chat.
Congratulations. All right. We're going to be doing one more giveaway here. Let me get that started in the background.
Gretchen,
we're going to be giving.
Gretchen commented, said, "Yeehaw!"
Yeah. All right, we're going to do one more giveaway. So keep your questions coming, and your testimonies. #life with your best question or your testimony of healing, and we will be giving away a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life, our membership site. We do about a dozen plus Zoom calls per week, breaking addictions, doctors, experts, individuals, Q&A. We've got courses and community to help you on your path to healing. If you don't win this and you still want to sign up, you can get 50% off your first month. Right now, there is a link in the description below with the promo code #life. Our next question.
Before we do that, Carrie, I just want to mention, one of the main purposes of this stream, obviously, is to give everybody value, answer as many questions as we possibly can. There's so many that come in, we can't possibly get to them all. And one of the reasons that we're also doing this is to bring awareness that we do have a membership website, a carnivore community, that we have experts come on every single week. We have Q&As every single week. We have breaking addictions groups. We have hangouts with Amy Hosp and Dante Ferrigno. All to support you on your journey. And if you need to go deeper into the questions, we are available in that community for you guys. And, we're just basically there to support you 24/7. Obviously, we need to sleep, but that website is healinghumanity.life. You'll see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen there, where you can get 50% off your first month. We're there to support you guys in whatever it is that you're trying to do on your health journey. And I just wanted to make sure that we got that in before we started the next question.
I just have one correction for Adam. Carnivores actually don't need to sleep.
Coming from a professional carnivore.
I'm a professional carnivore. I play one on TV. Oaktown Girl has a $5 super chat, and this question is for Adam. Thank you, Oaktown Girl, for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Hey, Adam, do you have an update on why you may have been burning sugar instead of fat, and what tests do you use?
Well, thanks for the super chat, Oaktown Girl. Previous to carnivore, I definitely was burning sugar instead of fat. You may be referring to when I mentioned that my fasting glucose was around 110, 115, and my ketones were very, very low. So I did sort of figure out the issue with that. I used a continuous glucose monitor for a couple of months and found out that the cortisol production that I was having as a result of drinking coffee was what was actually boosting my fasting glucose levels. So when I cut the coffee out, my glucose went down by about 20 points, actually. It was pretty dramatic, and I definitely was not expecting that. So, but I've also learned that my body, because I've been carnivore for almost 3 years now, I'm not going to have a lot of ketones in the blood. My body is very efficient at using those ketones, so I'm not going to have a lot of excessive ketones unless I'm doing a very specialized, very low protein, high fat type of diet. So the test that I used was a CGM and a Keto Mojo to test my glucose and my ketone.
All right, good stuff. Okay, let's see. We have a question. Can eating carnivore cause gallbladder issues resulting in having to have it removed? Diabetic 70-year-old female, thank you. What do you think, Dr. Nelson?
I don't know if, well, she's 70, so she is old enough to remember what I'm going to say. There was a bunch of these diets, Craig's, Jenny Craig, some other shake diets in the 80s and 90s, and they did run into a problem of people getting gallbladders and having gallbladder attacks and having to have surgery. When you change any diet to any other diet, you may have gallbladder problems. In particular, if you go into a very low fat diet, because now all of a sudden you're not really using your gallbladder. You're not pumping that much bile because you're not eating enough fat. So the bile is very heavy on cholesterol. And when you have high concentrations of a substrate, it precipitates. That's what happens to form gallstones. Not all gallstones cause problems, by the way. So can you, with carnivore or with any other diet changes may cause gallbladder? I don't know that carnivore may cause it at a higher rate.
Yeah, a follow-up question on that, Dr. Nelson. So if, let's say, for instance, somebody, has an issue with their gallbladder, maybe it's not working as optimally as it could be. Maybe it's got the sludge inside of it and stuff like that. Is there anything special that they can do to kind of ease into the carnivore lifestyle that may not potentially cause issues or problems?
Well, what you just mentioned is into on the amount of fat. All right. So start with a lower amount of fat. It's probably not a great idea to go lean meat only for a long period of time. But start slow and slightly increase. See how your body reacts to that. That would be a way to do it. I really haven't done a deep dive on it either, but really haven't heard of a lot of people either with a very low carbohydrate, high fat diet or carnivore diet really having more problems with the gallbladder than the general population would with any other diet changes. So easing into it will be one of the things to do. If it's really the gallbladder and you're really having problem with the function of the gallbladder, it might help to. I don't like to suggest having too many supplements, but digestive enzymes or ox bile. But I think just with easing on the amounts, it's probably enough.
Good stuff. All right. Here's a question. Barb, what do you think? From Susan, I have been 1 year in and have only focused on food. I want to incorporate some exercise besides walking. What is a good, exercise to start with without a gym?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. And isn't it awesome that you've been carnivore a year and now you feel like doing these things? I just have to say that.
Yes.
I would start with walking and then just incorporating movements. Just body weight exercises are good. Counter push-ups, squats. I mean, I always like to have people that I work with just kind of incorporate that into their daily lives. Like, you don't have to start a whole routine where you go to the gym and work out for an hour several times a week while your coffee or your beef protein powder is making in the morning. You can do squats. You can just work those movements in gradually and then pay attention to what you enjoy. If you like walking, walk. If you like to bike, bike. Just get out and try some different things. Don't be afraid to experiment and find the movement that you really like.
Can I add on one thing there too? I for a challenge we're doing, and it was just something. If you're one of those that likes kind of a challenge to take something on, one of the things I'm doing right now. I started with the challenge was just pick 3 exercises. Can be anything: push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Those are the 3 that I'm doing. Start out with 1, and then try and add 1 every single day. So the first day I'm just doing 1 push-up, 1 sit-up, and 1 squat. Obviously pretty simple day 1, depending on where you're at, what exercise you choose. But every day you try and grow that 1 more. And it's wild. I did it last year. And when I first started, I could do maybe 12 push-ups in a row. By the end, I was doing consecutively like 60 push-ups. It's amazing how your body will grow, muscles will grow, and you'll start doing the exercises much easier than you thought you could. So everybody's different. So pick your exercise appropriate for you. But that's a real systematic way of just kind of getting better a little bit every single day.
Or you can be like Carrie, who is never, ever going to take an elevator or an escalator this year.
There you go.
I haven't done it yet. I had one situation where there was no steps and it was an escalator, but I went up the down escalator, much to the disgust of my wife. I was embarrassing her. I made it though. It was actually kind of dangerous when I got near the top. It was like a 3 times as long escalator too, but I figured I made up for a couple on that one. So, all right. The next question we have is, let's see here. We got a couple good questions. I wish the documentary could be shown in all cinemas. Well, we do too. Never say never. We'll see what happens. I guess most movies would be hard to get in all cinemas, but our goal is to have the documentary be as accessible as possible to reach millions of people, whether that's through cinemas and streaming and YouTube and websites, and probably be a hybrid version. But the goal is to get it out to everyone.
Well, since you own a movie theater, Carrie, this is your job.
Yeah. Well, I got one. Yeah. I'll knock one off the list. I can guarantee you that.
Nice.
Debbie has a question. Is there a ratio target, fat to protein, for weight loss?
That's very individualized. This is definitely something, we can give you 50-50 is a generally good place to start, but it's N equals 1. You need to experiment yourself and adjust that fat and protein ratio. I would try to keep your protein at sort of a stable level based on your ideal body weight, which is roughly, jog my memory, Barb, it's 1.2 to 1.5
grams per kilogram.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe start with that and then adjust your fat up and down and see where you go from there. We get this question all the time, and it's really, you kind of have to do an experiment yourself.
Yeah. And even if you do find that number that's working for you, it's probably going to change as you lose weight and your body adjusts. So it's kind of an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I learned that on Carnivore too. As we go on our journey, those ratios definitely change. You got less fuel in the tank. Got to eat more. Here we go from Mama Zin. Watched 75 testimonials, jumped right in January 9th. Immediately, my neuropathy and tinnitus triggered by chemo have drastically improved, plus losing weight. Thanks to all you guys.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
I think she wins the award for most testimonials watched.
Yeah, well done.
Very good result.
That is why it's so important to share your story. Share your testimony.
We get questions on that tinnitus almost every other week, right? So it's great to hear.
I think I learned this from Dr. Nelson, but if it has itis in it, we're pretty much good on Carnivore. Inflammation, arthritis, tinnitus, colitis, all of those itises tend to fare pretty well eating a proper human diet.
And keep sharing your story now.
Yeah.
That's very important. It is the documented stories that matter.
That matter. The great Dr. Kiltz. All right. Question. I think I am broken. Been on Carnivore Ketovore for over a year now and have lost a little bit of weight, but sleep is still bad, gums still bleed, and not good energy. What can I do?
Consult with a keto-friendly metabolic health provider and try to figure out, because there is tons of questions that I'm sure Adam is thinking, Barb is thinking.
Oh yeah.
And okay, are you doing this? Are you doing that? This is not the right place to do that. But
Yeah.
find
First, I would say
someone.
you're not broken. No one is broken. You know, we all took the bait with eating these highly processed foods and doing the wrong things for decades and decades. So first and foremost, you are not broken. You're just experiencing some challenges right now, and there's plenty of like Dr. Nelson mentioned, a lot of metabolic health practitioners out there and coaches that can definitely help you get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, and it takes a lot. You've been doing this for a year, so you have stuck with it, even though it's not going as well as you want it to. And that's something in itself. You have the tenacity to do this. So I agree with Dr. Nelson. Seek out a provider, a coach, somebody who
And there
can.
has to be something positive that has happened because she stuck with it. Maybe overall she's feeling better, not quite what she wants. There may be several reasons. So be a member of a community. What community can they become a member of, Adam and Carrie and Ashley?
Sure. You can join our community, healinghumanity.life. There's a coupon code at the bottom there. Dr. Kiltz has a community as well. There's lots of other providers that you can look to as far as actually like getting physician's help if you need. Tord.health, you got Rivero.com. There's lots and lots of resources out there. So don't give up. There's plenty of people out there willing to help. And, if you can give us a little bit more input as far as what you've got going on specifically, we might be able to help you. But like Dr. Nelson said, it's really hard to do it in this on this platform.
Well, and another wonderful thing about community, and I'll speak to the Healing Humanity community because I'm a little bit partial to that. It's not only the experts that are there, but it's the people, just like all of these wonderful testimonies tonight, Uncle Charlie and Amanda and Tanya, and just can go on and on. Those people are part of communities potentially. I don't know them specifically, but they are also giving input. And in healinghumanity.life, you can ask a question. You can post a recipe. I mean, it's really cool to be able to connect with other people who may be struggling with the same things you are. You can share struggles, share the victories. Like, wow, how many awesome victories did we hear? So I just want to just stress the importance of community and how much it means.
Good stuff. All right. Thinking for myself has a question. Ashley, what do you think of this one? I believe that the pesticides they spray on plants are killing us quickly through plants, but maybe slowly through beef. Any thoughts on this?
I think through plants, 100%. I actually had that conversation earlier today. So yeah, no, I think it's definitely the glyphosate, the stuff that's being put on the plants is definitely, I think, impacting our health, no doubt about it. Through the beef, I think that's one of the reasons why beef is one of the best things we can eat because of their ruminant nature and having multiple stomachs that they process everything through first. So as far as the least likely to be affecting us, I think that's where even any kind of beef that you're eating out there is going to be better. But of course, if you know your rancher and you know where they're feeding, where those cows are feeding and what they're eating, that makes a big difference too. So there's stages of how better getting even better. So you can do your research and choose to get the best quality meat if your budget allows you to.
Yeah, good answer. And if you can find a local farmer, try to. Some people just throw their hands up in there and they're like, it's impossible. But I got a good friend in Milwaukee and they're like, how can I find one? They Googled and they found 3 within 30 miles that were doing clean, grass-fed, grass-finished regenerative farming within 30 minutes. And they're like, I'll just bring a big cooler and I'll stock up. And then they get to shake the hand of their farmer and they get to know if they're putting any harmful chemicals on the grass or in the feed that the cows are eating. All right, our next question. We're getting near the end of the hour here. If you have a testimony or question, post it quick. #life. Okay, we've got Tammy on day 2 of straight carnivore and feeling well. Brain fog is better and noticing something happening. Not sure what. Well, that's awesome. Sounds like you're feeling better. Probably your inflammation's starting to go away. That happens pretty quickly for a lot of people.
And it just keeps getting better. So stay with it.
Yeah. Gabriel, hello. I am a 32-year-old woman, 5'9", 259 pounds. My labs are great. No signs of diabetes. Triglycerides are 63, but having trouble losing weight. It's been 11 months. Carnivore, ketovore. Any advice? I'll take a stab at this one. Sounds like you're doing pretty well, but I always say to people, like, one thing is if you're going a long time, you're not losing weight. Are you actually measuring things? Because you could be gaining muscle and bone density while losing fat, but the scale shows 0. And you think you're not making any progress, but you're actually healing if you're gaining muscle and bone density and losing fat. If you are indeed stalled, I always encourage people, try something different. Don't just keep doing the same thing. So you said keto carnivore, maybe try carnivore for a while, strict carnivore for a couple of days, see how you feel. If you're doing carnivore, maybe try a lion diet. If you're doing lion diet, maybe try a day or 2 of fasting. But oftentimes it seems like if you switch things up a little bit is when people see progress. And I've heard this time and time again. The only other thing I would say,
I'm sorry, Kerry.
No, go ahead.
In particular, there are a couple of things that you may be having that could be part of the problem. I don't know. Number one is dairy in all forms. That very often stalls people. The other one is Adam mentioned a while back, the coffee. So, there might be things that need to be adjusted. Again, joining a community, working with a metabolic provider of any sort may be helpful to try to pinpoint ways to improve yourself.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a few things that could be issue here. Not eating enough fat, eating too much fat,
not sleeping well.
Yeah, it's your stress levels, not getting good sleep. That's we definitely would need to dig in a little bit more to try to figure out exactly what's going on.
All right, Roger, 1981. I suffered a TIA last Thursday. I'm sorry to hear that. Was going good on carnivore, having a lot of benefits, but fell off after making holiday exceptions and had a very hard time going back. Was binge eating sugar. Good news, I am back now. All right.
That's awesome that you're back, man. That's tough when you fall off a little bit, and it's a struggle, man. Especially with the sugar. That's stuff that's designed to make us stay off track. So I'm glad that you made it back.
Yeah. Welcome back, Roger. All right. Is it possible, this might be a Dr. Nelson question, is it possible to heal from bile acid malabsorption on carnivore? The gastroenterologist diagnosed by the symptoms and prescribed cholesterol. I still have my gallbladder and
history,
chemo and radiation.
Is it possible? Yes. Let me admit to my bias. I have drank the Kool-Aid. Okay. Carnivore helps, and it helps almost anything I take a deep dive into. Why? Sometimes we can explain it, sometimes we cannot. But even if whether you take the medication or not, I think the proof is in the pudding. Try it. Even if you don't go full carnivore and you're gonna have less than 20 grams of carbs, or if you decide to go carnivore, try it and see how it works for you. I'm sorry about what caused the chemo and radiation treatments. Been there, done that. So I hope you're doing better in that regards as well.
All right. Oh, there we go. We are getting at the end of the hour here. We're going to do the drawing for the Healing Humanity 30-day membership. Before we do that, I just want to go around real quick and thank all these amazing speakers. We have a link in the description for each of their social media profiles, so make sure you're following each of them. Adam, do you have anything big coming up at Carnivore today?
I don't. I wish I could say that I'm debuting or premiering the documentary tomorrow, but I'm not going to do that.
Don't say that.
Soon.
Ashley, what about you? Anything coming up at Carnivore Brothers?
Nothing exciting on the Carnivore Brothers just yet, but excited about our meetup. So just to remind everybody who maybe weren't on at the beginning, we highlighted the South Carolina meetup February 21st. We would love to meet you there, and I'd love to get to see you if you're in the area or one of the surrounding states. It's not too late. Get your tickets. healinghumanity.movie/events. It's going to be a fun one, and maybe one of the final meetups in this format before we start doing premieres. So come on out.
Come out and join us. Link in the description below. What about you, Barb? Anything exciting coming up?
Yeah, tomorrow is the 20th episode of the Carnivore Text featuring Stephen Lashbrook, otherwise known as Lash. And it's a really great interview. If you don't know his story, please watch this. It's truly amazing.
His story is incredible. Barb has an amazing YouTube channel too. I encourage everyone, go subscribe, go check it out. Link in the description below. And Dr. Nelson, what do you got coming up?
Well, become a member of the Kills Mighty Tribe. Membership is very expensive because you have to provide your email address, but otherwise there's no additional fees or cost. So in the community, we have 2 to 3 Zoom calls with yours truly, and a few of those attended by Dr. Kills as well. Next weekend, we're going to be in Sarasota and Tampa for a meetup. Killsmeetup.com, and you can find the information. And at The Real Dr. Nelson, please subscribe.
Good stuff. I appreciate you all coming on. We're going to do the giveaway now for 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life. Drum roll, please. The winner of a 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life is Don. Congratulations, Don. You have won a 30-day free membership. How can Don claim his prize, Adam?
Well, Carrie, Don can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Carrie will promptly send you a coupon code to access healinghumanity.life. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight and all the great questions. And if you didn't win one of the prizes, but you still want to join us in the membership site, link in the description below. You can get 50% off your first month. Thank you guys all so much. We do this every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we hope to see you on the next one. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Beep.